Hi,
Oh,
Katies
really?
Johnson.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. It's so good to see you. I wish I was out in the Bahamas with you.
Oh, I tried so hard to get the screen off the back. I said, it's such a fun journey, this live stream and all this stuff. Welcome to Dina Six TV.
I'm so glad to be here. Thank you.
Yes, I researched you, and what a joy, what a joy. And Katie Lynn, you're a performer, a writer, producer, and you just went live for for a film short story that you wrote. Uh, Biographical, if I could tell you. We're going to get to that because I'm super excited for you and your whole team.
Thank you.
I actually got choked up when I watched your Instagram.
Oh, thanks.
Yes, yes. So you study music in college,
Yes, I did.
and who were your influences? Did you know right away that you were gonna, follow this amazing eclectic dream of yours?
Yeah, well, I mean, I have to chalk it up to the classics like Celine Dion, Whitney Houston, those big voices. My mom always wanted me to perform those songs. She was like, the momagers growing up. So I think just early on I
Yeah,
was
yeah, of
I
course.
was
I have
singing
the
and
same type of mom.
performing. Yeah. Uh-huh. And they're the best kind to have.
Oh, your
They
voice
just
is stunning.
they believe in you and, instill that hope. So I was a dreamer all of my life.
Beautiful.
And I think it cracks me up even today. I'll be telling people about my hopes and dreams and what I'm working on. They're like, "Wow, you're just going for it." And it's like, "Yeah, I mean, when you love something, you just want to give it 100%, and that's the only way you're really going to get there." So, that's kind of the mentality I've always had and singing big songs. It started with that. I just love to tell stories. But the acting side of it, I think I've had it on the back burner because I was always a little too scared. Singing was something tangible that I always did, and I was fairly good at growing up, and I've gotten better over, with lots of training and lots of lessons and working hard. But acting, I was still kind of terrified. So I just decided I made the leap a couple years ago, and now I'm a SAG actor. So excited about
That's
that.
beautiful. Fantastic. Look, you're so super interesting on your own, really, if you just play yourself through the criteria of the piece, you got it made.
Thank you.
That's what it's all about anyway, I think. I watch
Yeah.
so much of your work. I'm like, and
Aw.
that's the deal. People get the wrong idea that people are artistic people like you are into one thing. And then it's like,
Exactly.
you know, that you're a jack of all trades, but no, that's the artistic way is is that it just goes into so many different genres.
Yeah. And you know what, Dina, I'll tell you a little story with that because it's funny. It's cute, I guess I should say. I was in college studying at Houghton. It's just very small Christian school, Western New York, kind of south of Buffalo. And I got cast in the Phantom of the Opera. I was playing Christine Daae, which was such a huge deal for me. My mother used to sit there on the couch and listen to me perform, specifically Phantom of the Opera, and always loved the song All I Ask of You. And years later, she's passed now, and I'm at college, and this guy, James Johnson, is cast as Raoul, who's my love interest, and we're singing the song that my mom loved me to sing. And I started falling for this guy. And so during the show of Phantom, we told each other, like, listen, let's just like be friends. Let's take this like really slow. I think that'll be the more professional thing to do. And sure enough, when we were performing, it was not really acting. We were for sure falling for each other. And years later, he proposed singing that song, and now he's my husband. So,
Oh my God. Wow. What a story. Oh,
yeah,
I watched the song that you two sang together. I write it down in the Valley. I listened
that's
to
our
it
band.
three times. Three times. I really, and your voice and he's so good looking to look at too. And his voice is
Oh,
amazing.
I love his voice. We just recently
Wow.
did a show together, and we sing a lot of love songs, and people like booking us for weddings, especially. So it's just really special to do that with the person I love being with the most. So I love it.
Well, that's beautiful. And being a Christian too, there he was, he was presented to you,
Yeah.
In the interim, you're the director for your choir in your church as well.
Yeah, so
So,
it's a worship band. So we have like a 7-piece band most
wow.
Sundays. It's gotten a little smaller during COVID. We want to like use the space on the stage, and have like, I think we have like 5 or 6 players each week, but it's so fun. I mean, we have drummers, crazy musicians, electric
Amazing.
players. So yeah, I'm the interim worship director, and I work with James there as well. He's the production coordinator. So
Yeah.
he's this whole setup that you see me with
Yeah.
is thanks to James.
Audio. We love
Good
audio,
audio.
guys.
Yeah, I really do.
Yeah.
I don't know what would be happening if it was up to me by myself, because I'm not a tech person. So he always sets it up really nicely, and that's why our music and everything sounds as good as it does. It's because of him. But yeah, we
They
both
never
work
get
at.
to just do audio, people. Even in film, people don't talk about the audio end. I'm like, that's half the film.
Oh, you would not like the movies that you like if it weren't for the audio people.
Never.
Mm-mm.
Never. So you briefly talked about your mom, and the piece, if I could tell you, was a story that you wrote about your mom. And tell us a little bit how that came about. I mean, I know, but tell the.
Yeah, so first I'll tell you what the story is about. So this is a short film that we're creating in upstate New York, which is really awesome because, people think film people are only in LA and the big city, but no, we're really excited about doing it locally right here in like Albany area of New York. So it's a short film, and it is based on my life. So I'm a Filipino American, and my mother, who her and my father met many years ago in Bermuda of all places. She met him and moved to America from the Philippines. Big leap. And the story is going to start right after the death of the main character, Noelle, of her mother. So we kind of are starting this story seeing that she's struggling with something. She's lost someone. She's struggling with depression, anxiety, all these things that we're going through right now.
Yeah.
And Noelle starts to have these flashbacks and memories where she sees her younger self, and it's starting to trouble her, and she's confused, and she reaches out to her therapist, and the therapist says, I would like you to write a letter to your younger self. So that's all I'll give you for now, but it's a really interesting story, very pulls on the heartstrings, and it's just about going through grief. I don't think that we lament enough as like a society, and I don't think we focus on the very real sad things that go on in life. And so this story is just to touch those people and hopefully instill some hope if you're going through anything similar, because so many of us do, unfortunately.
Well, that's a beautiful thing that you're doing a piece, that we actually have to give people permission to mourn, and not put on that brave face, 24 hours a day, and which is the natural process, of getting to the other side, so sorry about your mother,
Thank you.
and I'm sure it's going to be an amazing piece. Now, are you doing any fundraising for the piece? Because
yes, we are. So that was exciting. We've recently launched. It's been about 24 hours as we're live streaming now. It's been about 24 hours since we've put out there that we're trying to raise $5,000 for the short film, which in the film world, that's a very little number, but with the times that we're in, it is asking a bit, but I am super excited. We're almost halfway already to our goal.
Fantastic.
Yeah, people
Send me
are
the link,
really,
and
really
then,
great.
I'll put it on the YouTube on the bottom after the show is over. So
Yes,
anybody that
please.
wants to participate in what fundraising?
We're using GoFundMe.
Oh, there you go. Simple, easy. So anybody that wants to give you money can just go to the GoFundMe.
Yeah.
And give some money to this beautiful, beautiful piece. So when does shooting start? Do you have a shoot date?
We do. We are going to start shooting right after Easter, so the week, like second week of April. So that's coming up pretty soon, and the fundraiser, we're kind of thinking we want to raise this money within the next month, and that gives us a little buffer before we start shooting, but that's the money that goes towards this is completely going towards making this production awesome. It's going to give us the ability to get the amazing tech that we want, lighting and camera to make this just a fabulous film. And our team is amazing. So I'm very grateful. Chris Gaunt
Scout introduced you
Yes.
and I. He's been like super, super supportive. He was
Oh
on
my
my
gosh.
show a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
Oh, Chris is so good. I
Yeah, he's great.
can't believe how how the world works and how this all, I have a little story to tell. So Chris is working on lots of films all the time. He's like master producer, master actor. He's great. And right now he's working on Follow Her, which is a huge feature film. He's working on Lorena, which is a short film becoming a feature film. So Chris and I actually met in an acting class, and it was just me and like 5 other people. And sure enough, like those little kind of interactions where you get to know someone. I mean, it was like an intense course, like 6 hours long.
Yeah,
so you really get to know people. Yeah. So
you gotta really
yeah. And the funny thing is, I reached out to him because I had this feeling like I want to tell him about this project. I want to see if I had a sort of idea of maybe he could play a character in it, but I wanted to at least tell him. And he went through the exact same thing that I did. You know, he lost his father when he was just going into college, so very young. Still obviously dealing with the loss of that. I mean, that's not something that goes away. And so having him on this team has just been so much more than just like a great collaboration, but it's been like we're really like we understand each other. And so he wants to see this film be made just almost as much as, maybe more. No, I'm just kidding. I really want this to be made.
You can tell he's super, super supportive. Yeah.
Oh, he's great. He's just wonderful.
Yeah. Your director is
Logan Rando.
I just watched Logan Rando's. He has this YouTube thing he has a thing on 10 best films on YouTube. So I've actually watched 4 of the 10. So I should know his name.
Yes, he's great.
So he is super, super like movie, like buff, like.
Oh yeah, I love the videos he puts out. I believe I watched things before I even knew who he was, that he was putting out, not realizing he lived like 15 minutes from us.
Wow.
So yeah, he's a connection that I made through Chris, and man, the two of them are going to elevate this film like crazy. Check out Logan Rando.
Yeah,
we do.
Honey. Wow. That's what it takes. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. And you know what's really cool is we have like, just because our friends are really creative people, like they're all musicians or, you know, into techie things. I have a huge team right now for the size of this film, and it's really just a group of my friends. Like, I mean, my husband's a professional audio engineer. His best friend, Scott Long, is an audio engineer, and I have a friend who's got beautiful design just inspiration, and she works as a design person, so she's in charge of production of like how it's going to look and feel, and all these people are just coming up. We have a great team, and our cinematographer, our DP, Jung Meng, is awesome. We have just the best team, so I'm really confident this is going to be just a beautiful thing.
You know, people get the wrong idea about New York and New Jersey is one of the biggest film areas in the country. Mm-hmm. You know, and New Jersey and New York is got some great tax tax benefits right now, and New Jersey's coming back in a big way filmmaking. They've opened up like 10 different studios.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that. I mean, I've been astounded at how the movie industry, television and film, has just moved a little more north, and it's coming to me. I felt like this pressure at first, you know, I think we all do, like you have to be in New York, you have to be in LA, but the film industry is realizing, you know, since those taxes have changed and how expensive it is, they're moving up. I filmed many films in Poughkeepsie area. Sure. You know, things are coming up and filming in Schenectady. There's some big films lately that are going through our area, so it's really exciting.
Yeah, it's the film started in New Jersey, Thomas Edison. The reason why they moved to LA was because of the weather, and they could shoot all year round. It's the only reason why the film industry wound up in LA. So
wow, yeah.
Yes, now with climate change, and you know, it's 50 degrees in February, we really don't have any weather change. So, you know, it was gorgeous today, 50 degrees, you know.
Well, Dina, how long have you been there? In LA?
Well, I was actually in LA when COVID hit, and my mom has cancer. She's been being treated for a year. So when COVID shut down, when LA shut down and my mom wasn't well, I said, let me get back to New Jersey, thinking I would leave in August. And I'm like, why am I leaving? Do you know that LA is still shut down? And my mom is still in treatment. So I stayed, and I always feel the most creative. Oh, for Pete's sakes, where'd you go? You can see the phone call. I love this stuff. I always feel the most creative in the East Coast. Love it. I'm like, I'm shooting a film in Central Park next month.
Oh, wow. No
A
kidding.
short film that I wrote and I'm producing. I'm doing my master's degree for my directing and screenwriting. So I have to
amazing.
do this film. Yeah. So anyway, so I've been here. It'll be a year, June 1st. I can't believe it.
It's insane. I can't believe that we're approaching Easter, because Easter I felt like was the first big, like holiday that we had where everyone was like, okay, what do we do? And now we're coming back to our second one, our second COVID Easter.
Second COVID Easter. I started this art piece that I thought would last 2 weeks and I would give a friend.
Yeah.
And it's called Chronicles of the Coronavirus. Well, I'm still working on it. It's 10 months later. It's 30 feet long.
Oh my.
So this is the deal. This is the deal. I mean, but God is good. And, I mean, we have to pull up gratitude. And this is the deal about you making films. And then I want you to continue to talk, because that's the reason why I wrote my pieces that I wanted to say. And that's why I do the show, is as us as creatives, we're still here. We haven't gone anywhere. Now we're doing it on Zoom, smaller crews. Your choir at church is a little smaller, but we're still here. Mm-hmm. And to see the great work that will come out of through the consciousness of COVID, where you have to do restraints. And it's really interesting. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, historically, when these crazy things happen to our world, when anything traumatic or big is changing for the world, I mean, good comes from it somehow, some way. If people are forced inside their houses, then the brilliance that they have in their heads, like these ideas just start spewing out. And I knew right away that I was going to be excited at what could come from musicians, knowing we weren't going to have live shows. Like, well, what does that mean for these new albums coming out for musicians, and what films are going to be creatively done, because they're limited now. Sometimes limitations can be really exciting for creatives, especially.
That to be true. I was really surprised, pleasantly surprised.
We had made this huge announcement that we were going to try to release new songs every month. Wow. And it was fun for a while, but we stopped being able to afford it when COVID hit. And you know what? It made us have to look at everything in a new perspective and think about, I think a lot of people have been looking at their careers and just examining, the COVID's been giving people that opportunity. And for some, it's less of an opportunity, more of we have to, okay, let's see what can we do here. But we've been grateful to, we have a few jobs that we each hold. So if one falls, then we just lean into the other.
Yeah, you have to do it that way. It's the only way. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when COVID hit, it was almost like that push that I needed to really pursue acting, because acting, you can get really creative with that. And I've also I needed the push. Personally,
that was my point. Is it just these things came out of sitting and oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been an exciting ride. We're still going to be doing music. We love to perform together. Oh, yeah. And, we're going to perform in St. Patrick's Day pretty soon and do a couple weddings. But yeah, it's been pretty thrilling to just jump head first into the acting industry. And when I became SAG, that changed a lot.
Oh, I'm so excited for you.
Thanks.
Super, oh my gosh. I mean, if we could all get the vaccine, I think we'll be in good shape. In the end of the summer, things can get back to a little bit, I'm not sure if you're going to get it or not, but I mean,
yeah,
I cannot wait. I think we'll be okay.
I know. Fingers crossed that it turns out as good as it's seeming, and let's hope that, we can get that herd immunity and, see some good change in the next few months. Cause I think a lot of people are excited about the summer. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm really super excited. I really feel really positive that we can get back on the other end of things, and, people can get back to creating, the old way, but with a new attitude and a new, with the new awareness.
Appreciation.
Appreciation.
Yeah.
It's going to be super exciting.
Yeah, I mean, when we've performed our music since COVID, we've felt it in the space, like outdoors, or we've done it at some bigger venues where people are they're really listening, they're really loving it. You know, I think we took a lot for granted before, and music and things like that keeps us alive. You know, that keeps us loving life. Where, you know, it's not the quote unquote essentials, but it is the essentials for life. You know.
I mean, it's just, I was listening to jazz for like 3 hours before
Yeah.
this. You know, I took a 2 hour walk, and I listened to jazz for 2 hours, and I was like crying through the park at this woman, you know, and like people think you're nuts. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'm
Yeah.
listening to a jazz song. You know, I'm
Makes you
not talking
feel
to myself.
something, and yeah, that's the best. I mean, music and film, they make you feel, and that's what we need.
So also, what's the hating games? I didn't have, excuse me, I didn't look it up. You played
No problem. The Hating Game is a feature film that I was lucky enough to be a part of that was filming in, they just wrapped filming at the end of December of 2020. So that's starring Lucy Hale, beautiful actress. I loved seeing her up close and seeing how she worked. Oh my goodness. Just made me love her even more.
Wow.
You probably know her from things like Katie Keene and Pretty Little Liars on ABC Family.
Of course. I love that show.
So she's starring in it. It's a romantic comedy where two very opposite publishing companies have to merge to stay alive. And the two heads of that company, they hate each other. And there's that fine line between love and hate. So you get to see that kind of romance. It's a steamy show. I think it's going to be a great film.
I'm watching the Vikings right now. Oy, oy, oy.
Oh, man. I watched Bridgerton. Have you seen that on Netflix?
Of course.
Oh my goodness. That threw me for a loop. I didn't know what to expect. I was like, it was one show and then
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, wow. And this is another thing we got to do is watch burn up streaming shows that, you know, we have conversations about series we never would have had the time to watch. I mean, my mother and I are discussing, you know, the Vikings in the morning. You know, did you see that?
Yeah, the
So
arts
I wanted
are
to talk about one more thing, and then you know, and I joke, I say even if Brad Pitt was on the show, I couldn't keep people's attention for more than 30 minutes. So you know, you have a limit, you know. But your voice coach also, and you did voice coach for American Idol, People on The Voice, and The Voice is my favorite show. Favorite.
Oh, wow. Yes, I have been a voice coach for about 5 years. When I was working at a local music school called Modern Day Music, that's where I got started doing this voice coaching. And I got to work with Madison Vandenberg, as she was a student of mine, passed on to me, and Mariah Formica. And the two of them made a huge splash in our area when Madison was third place on American Idol. And so she's a big name. Oh my gosh, that young lady's voice. It's just so good. If you get a chance to listen to Madison Vandenberg, she just released a new single.
I will listen to it.
And if you like rock, Mariah Formica was another student of mine from Modern Day. And wow, she's just came out with a all-girl rock band. They're called Plush.
It.
Oh man, she's representing.
What's the
It's
name
so
of the
good.
band?
Plush.
Love it.
Yes, they just came out with a single as well. It's called Hate. And they're just so good. I mean, they have all females and they're all just bosses. Like
Yes,
it's about time.
it.
We need some younger girl bands out there to show the world what they can do.
We need some contemporary rock for sure.
Oh, it's so
while.
good. They have nothing but amazing things in their future for sure.
Oh, congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So dear, thank you so much. Thank you. Good luck with all your projects, and I can't wait to hear more about it. I'm going to have Logan on the show in a couple of weeks.
Oh, great.
So I'll get his perspective as a director for your piece.
Dina, this has been so great. Thank you so much for having me, and best of luck. I love seeing what you're doing and I love how you get the word out there for all these creatives, especially during such an interesting time. But I wish you the best and wish your channel the best, and look forward to seeing what you have next.
No, thank you so much. Take care, dear.
Bye.
Say hi to your husband for me and Chris.
All right, will do.
Okay.